Not every threat hides in shadows. Some wave from the driveway. A single person stands still in a softly lit room. They walk to the window. Pause. Gently. They pull the blinds closed. But not because of fear. Because something feels off. There's no loud noise. No confrontation. Just timing. Too perfect. Too often. What if the real threat isn't a stranger in the shadows, but someone who already knows your schedule? You wave at them every morning. You nod politely when you cross paths. You smile because that's what we're taught to do. But what if behind that familiar smile wasn't friendliness? It was tracking. It was access. It was control, disguised as courtesy. That gut feeling you get, the tension in your chest, that whisper in the back of your mind saying they're always just there. That's not paranoia. That's your instincts, trying to protect you, because some eyes don't wander. They don't glance. They focus. They anticipate. They study your rhythm and wait for you to stay predictable. And once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. You're not overreacting. You're observing. You've probably felt it before. That soft tension in your chest. The way your skin prickles when someone's timing is always too right. And yet, you silence it. You tell yourself, it's probably nothing. They're just being friendly. I don't want to overthink this. But what if that whisper inside you isn't anxiety? What if it's wisdom, the kind we've been trained to ignore in the name of politeness? The Stoics had a phrase for this kind of clarity. Epictetus said, "Control what you can. Observe what you can't. You may not control what your neighbor does, but you control how you read it, how you prepare, and whether you keep pretending or start protecting. Because the most dangerous kind of intrusion isn't loud. It doesn't break windows or cut wires. It smiles. It waves. It asks, "How was your weekend?" while quietly collecting more information than you ever meant to give. This video is not about fear. It's not about accusing anyone. It's about something much stronger. Calm, awareness, and the quiet decision to stop dismissing what your instincts keep flagging. So let's go deeper. Let's walk through 5 signs that what feels like coincidence might actually be control. And it begins with the first one, the easiest to overlook. The person who keeps showing up, even when you didn't invite them. They're not walking behind you. They're orbiting you. It never starts loud. There's no confrontation, just timing. Too perfect, too frequent. You step outside, and there they are. Again. Maybe they're watering the same patch of grass. Maybe grabbing something from their trunk. Maybe scrolling through their phone until their eyes meet yours exactly as you pass. At first, you tell yourself, it's nothing, just coincidence. Life. But then it happens again, and again, and again. Different days, different times, even in the rain. And slowly, the pattern forms. Not around them, around you. Their presence isn't random anymore. It's rhythmic, predictive. That's when the smile stops feeling neighborly and starts feeling calculated. Take David, retired firefighter, creature of habit. Every evening, same walk, same route, same hour, and every time his neighbor 3 houses down was outside, always outside, never said a word, never waved, just there, not watching, exactly, but never not watching. At first, David tried to ignore it, but on the 10th evening, something inside him tightened, a weight in his chest, a whisper in his gut. That's when he realized he wasn't just being seen, he was being timed. Maybe you've felt it too, that person who steps outside for fresh air every time you do, the one who's always tidying up when you take your trash out, the neighbor who's always outside just when you are. This isn't coincidence, it's consistency. And consistency like this has intent. Psychologists call it hypervigilant observation. It's not just watching, it's tracking to the point they don't just see you coming, they know when you will. So what's the Stoic move? You don't confront, you don't accuse, you don't spiral, you observe on purpose. Start by breaking your own rhythm. Leave 20 minutes earlier. Take a new route. Park on the other side of the street. Vary your routine intentionally. Then watch. Do they adjust too? Do they reappear at your new time? Your new pattern? If yes, you don't need confrontation. You already have confirmation. Now, act like a Stoic. Keep a log date. Time. Weather. What they were doing. How it made you feel. Stay calm. Stay factual. Stay grounded. Because Stoicism isn't passivity, it's precision. It's self-defense in silence. Once you see the pattern, you stop calling it weird. You start calling it what it is, calculated access. Because some people don't knock, they orbit, not by accident, but by design. And if you think their presence is only physical, wait until the surveillance follows you home through your devices. Not all eyes look through windows. Some scan through data. You've changed your timing, shifted your route, dodged their presence like smoke through a maze. But somehow, they're still there. That's when it hits you. Maybe it's not just where you walk. Maybe it's what your devices are whispering. Even when you're silent. Because not all watchers stand outside. Some connect through Wi-Fi. This is sign 2, the surveillance that isn't physical but just as invasive. Let's call it like it is. We live in a world where you don't need binoculars to track someone, just proximity and curiosity, and it starts subtle. You notice a neighbor's camera just barely angled toward your driveway. A strange Wi-Fi network that shows up only when they're home, stronger than yours. A random Bluetooth signal that keeps appearing on your phone, though you've never paired with anything nearby. You think, probably nothing, until your smart speaker wakes up unprompted, until your lights flicker 3M, until your thermostat changes itself without your input. And suddenly your home doesn't feel like home. It feels exposed. Here's the truth most people miss. Smart devices are gateways. Doorbells stream to cloud servers. Speakers store voice samples. Thermostats log your patterns when you leave, when you sleep, when you return. Phones broadcast metadata 24/7. In the wrong hands, these aren't tools. They're access points and surveillance today. It doesn't need confrontation. It just needs consistency. So what would a Stoic do? Marcus Aurelius said, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In today's world, strength looks like this. Secure your network. Use encrypted routers. Change your passwords like you change your locks. Audit your digital environment. Which apps are listening? What devices are connected? Disable voice assistants in private areas, bedrooms, bathrooms, anywhere you process real life. Run tests. Turn off Wi-Fi overnight. See what stays active, what blinks, what tries to reconnect. This isn't overreacting. It's reclaiming your environment. Because in the digital age, silence isn't safe unless you build it that way. Peace isn't passive. It's configured. And the Stoics, they didn't obsess over invaders. They fortified their fortress mentally, emotionally, physically. So if your home's energy feels different lately, like something's watching, even when no one's there, don't explode. Don't accuse. Just re-secure the gates. Lock the digital doors. Close the unseen windows. Control the signal. Because not all surveillance knocks. Some sync, some ping, some listen. And in that quiet hum, your safety depends on one thing: your ability to stop calling it nothing. And if you thought digital tracking was invasive, wait until they start referencing things you never shared. When silence feels watched, it's not just quiet. It's calculated. There's a kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels observed. Not because you hear something, but because someone seems to know more than they should. It always starts small. A strange comment dropped casually over the fence. How's your sister doing in Phoenix? But here's the thing, you never posted it. You didn't text it. You said it once, out loud, inside your home. Or maybe they compliment your new sneakers, the ones you just ordered, still in the box, still on the porch. And yet, they know. That's not coincidence. That's not a lucky guess. That's access. This is sign number 3. They know things you never told them, and they're not asking because they care. They're repeating what they've collected quietly, passively, strategically. In today's world, listening doesn't always involve a wall or a window. Sometimes it means watching your digital exhaust, your phone logs where you go, your smart speaker stores voice samples, your apps track everything: shopping habits, sleep cycles, search behavior, even mood, your thermostat, your lighting schedule, your screen time. Every setting tells a story. Put them together, and you've built a silent biography, written without permission, readable to anyone curious enough to piece it together. That's what experts call digital leakage, and it doesn't take a hacker. It just takes someone close and curious. So what does the Stoic do? You don't accuse. You don't spiral. You flip the power quietly. Start here. Run the Stoic test. Say something out loud at home that isn't true. I can't wait to visit Miami next weekend. My cousin's flying in from Ohio. I've got a big delivery Thursday morning. Then wait. If they mention it even playfully, indirectly, you've got your answer. That's not intuition. That's confirmation. Now, shift your posture from openness to control, not with confrontation, but with clean boundaries. Here's how: avoid personal conversations near open windows. Use ambient or white noise, especially at night. Review your app settings. Who has microphone access? Who's tracking your GPS? Who's syncing silently in the background? Stop tagging locations in real time. Delay your posts. Don't announce arrivals. Don't narrate your day. In short, give less. Reveal less. Let them guess wrong. Because not every defense needs a wall. Sometimes it just needs a better filter. You don't over updates. You don't owe clarity. You owe yourself peace. Let misdirection become your boundary. Let silence become your strength. Let calm become your power. Because some threats aren't loud. They don't ask. They listen. And the moment you realize someone knows what you never shared, stop wondering how they heard it. Start making sure they never hear it again. Close the window. Close the loop. Reclaim your space. Some signs don't whisper. They leave fingerprints. Sometimes a warning doesn't shout. It just sits there, slight, subtle, staged so well. You almost miss it. Almost. The welcome mat moved. The mailbox slightly cracked open. The curtains drawn, just differently enough. And suddenly, your chest tightens. Not from fear, from certainty. Someone was here. This is sign number 4. When your space has been touched, not metaphorically, physically, deliberately, and worse, quietly. Let me tell you about Richard. Lived in a quiet suburb. Calm life. Familiar. Routines. Had a harmless habit. He always left. His welcome mat turned slightly to the left. Not by design. Just a quirk. Only he knew. One weekend, he went out of town. When he returned, the mat, perfectly straight, centered, pressed, tuneat. He paused. Maybe it was the wind, or maybe it wasn't. Then he noticed the potted plant, the one he always turned toward the sun, now facing the street. And the mailbox, no mail, but open, just a sliver. Nothing was stolen, nothing broken, but everything was different. Because this wasn't carelessness. This was presence. The kind that doesn't damage, it disturbs, and you felt it too. Haven't you? A door that suddenly feels loose. Blinds slightly pulled wrong angle, wrong side. Motion camera triggered while you were away. A footprint outside that doesn't match anyone in your house. You try to shake it off. You tell yourself you're imagining things. But deep down you already know this isn't curiosity. This is testing. They're pressing, not to break in, but to see how close they can get before you react. So what would a Stoic do? They wouldn't spiral. They wouldn't shout. They'd prepare with precision. Here's your game plan. Start documenting quietly. Take photos, timestamps, angles, full frame, and close-up. Keep a private log. Date, time, weather. What changed? How it made you feel. Then set subtle tripwires, a slip of paper tucked into the door frame, a single hair across the cabinet door, a drawer left just slightly open, a sticky note behind a door hinge. If it moves, you'll know. Not because you want a confrontation, but because you want certainty. And Stoicism thrives on clarity over chaos. because someone who crosses into your space uninvited isn't exploring, they're checking your defenses and your home. That's not just a place, it's a boundary. It's your center. Once it's been touched, your response needs to be stronger than your doubt. Fortify your peace. Strengthen your systems. Stay ahead without saying a word. Because some intrusions aren't about theft, they're about ownership. Don't let anyone claim that territory physically or psychologically. Not with fear, not with confrontation, but with calm, documented. Strategic presence. That's Stoic defense. Subtle, measured, undeniable. Not every threat is loud. Some smile too much. It starts simple. A wave, a smile, a friendly nod from across the yard. You think they're just being polite. And at first, maybe they are. But then it builds. Every morning, same time, they're already outside, watering the same spot on the sidewalk, glancing up just as you step out. Then come the compliments. Your outfit, your haircut, the way you parked your trash can. You laugh. You reply. You move on. But they don't. Next week, your package arrives, and before you see it, they've already helped. It's waiting on your step, neatly, without asking. You think, that was nice, until it happens again. And again, your plant's been watered, your trash bin's been rolled in, your gate opened and closed, and you never said a word, never gave permission, never even noticed them noticing. Then one day, they say it. You should really be careful with that guy across the street. I saw someone circling your house late last night. You know, I keep an eye out for you. And suddenly, what felt like help starts to feel heavy, because this isn't kindness. This is possession wrapped in concern. Control, disguised as care. They're not just helping, they're building a system, one where you rely on them and trust no one else. This isn't protection, it's isolation, and it's strategic. Just ask Karen. She lived in a quiet cul-de-sac. One neighbor stood out. Friendly, warm, always there. He somehow knew where she worked, what time she left, what days she wasn't home. She never told him. He never asked. One night, on a private call, she mentioned a weekend trip. No social post, no text, no email, just words, spoken out loud, inside her house. 2 days later, a handwritten note appeared under her mat. Have a great trip, no one else knew. Weeks later, she came home early, found him in her backyard. No invitation, no apology, just a calm explanation, just checking in. Not nervous, not guilty, like it was normal. That's when she realized she wasn't being helped. She was being managed. So, what does a Stoic do? You don't panic. You don't accuse. You withdraw quietly and intentionally. Here's how: start picking up your own deliveries. Immediately. Say no thanks to every unsolicited favor. Stop engaging in casual check-ins. Lock your gate. Close your blinds. Keep small talk short or don't respond at all. Then, test the shift. When the favors stop, do they pull back? Do they grow distant? Do they push harder? If yes, that wasn't kindness. That was control. waiting for your submission. And if it escalates, you document everything, journal every comment, change in tone and unwanted gesture. Save written notes or texts, screenshot unusual messages, loop in someone you trust, and if needed, take legal action. That's not extreme. That's self-respect. Because the moment someone starts deciding what's best for you without your consent, you're not a neighbor anymore. You're a project they think they own. And no one, no matter how polite their smile, gets to manage your life. Not outside your door. Not behind your fence. Not with good intentions as cover for control. So draw your line. Hold it with composure. No anger. No apology. No explanation. Just quiet strength. Because obsession doesn't always start with staring. Sometimes it starts with, "I'm just trying to help." Some threats don't knock. They linger quietly. So let's talk about it. If something in this video made your stomach drop, if it echoed a tension you've been feeling for weeks, months, maybe longer, you're not imagining it. You're observing it. So let's make space for that. Drop a simple comment below. "I've felt it too." Or share your experience. No pressure for detail. Just truth. Because when one person speaks up, someone else realizes they're not overreacting either. And if this gave you clarity, if you're ready to start protecting your peace with calm, strategic presence, hit subscribe, tap the bell, stay close. This isn't just a video. We're building a space for people who don't confuse politeness with permission. Ready for your next move. Watch this next. How to set Stoic boundaries without saying a word. Because when someone tries to control you quietly, you don't respond with noise. You respond with posture, with presence, with that kind of silence that doesn't shrink, it holds the line. Your peace isn't just personal, it's strategic. And from this moment on, you're protecting it like a tactician.